Okay, so now having covered audio, I think we can move to the walk overview and final screens section. As you saw when you did the walk overview is effectively a series of static screens that the user sees at the very beginning of the walk, with these square images and text that give the users a sense of what to expect, whether there's going to be long gaps, etc. The user interface here is pretty rough. We made it for our own internal purposes and have been adding on to it. So when and if this gets in the hands of teachers or educators or parents, it could definitely use an overhaul. Okay, so let me just start by showing you these two sections here. There's effectively two walk overviews, one for the audio version of the walk and one for the non-audio version. Non-audio version obviously has much more text, and some of these pages are actually a little bit long, and so they can scroll. And the audio version, we've chosen here to have just a simple heading and a square image and have the rest taken care of by the narration. Um, so then moving down here, you can see that there's a number of pages that we have. These pages will just advance automatically in the app, and you can add pages to the overview by pressing this button here, add page, we'll add a couple, and then remove them by pressing this button down here, the remove page button, which will throw up this confirmation dialog. You can also move pages around. Again, the UI here is not super clear, but let's say I want this blank page 13 to be the first page. I can just keep pressing on this left button and it will move it to wherever I want. So in this case, now it'll be the first page and the second page will be this planet's a very small page. So I'll go back and remove this. Um, Now, the other thing to note here, and this will be the same when we get to the resources section, the field here, we've chosen to use a language called Markdown. Markdown is basically a way of creating formatted text from plain text. We wanted to keep this simple for ourselves and didn't want to go through the trouble of writing what you see is what you get editor with bold, italic, and underlined and heading buttons on the top because that was a lot of code. And so here, for now, you can control how this looks by adding characters in front of or around text. So I can change the way that heading looks. I can add italics by putting stars around a specific word. And we'll give you a link to the syntax here. One of the disadvantages of using that syntax is that if we want to add an image, then we basically have to use this HTML formatting here that calls on an image that's already in the image library. And to kind of make that process a little bit easier, we've added some controls here. So you can, again, add an image right from the of your file system here. So, I mean, let me just randomly add this screenshot that I took. And again, you go through the same process that you would if you were adding an image to an event or to the walk. And then that will show up. You can't see it here, but so that'll show up here if I want to. Or I can also just choose an image from the library. And in either case, it'll just basically create that HTML markdown syntax for you. So you don't have to worry about creating it, but this could use, again, a bit of a look. Audio works the same way as it does for events down here. You can record your own audio by clicking and holding. You can upload an MP3 file. There can be multiple takes. I think that's it. There's no, it's a little convoluted. This could use some work, but that in a nutshell is the walk overview and final screens, which works in exactly the same way.